Among the talented faculty at UW-Madison, few choose to dedicate their lives to both clinical and research applications. Dr. Paul Sondel, a pediatric oncologist at UW Health and principal investigator at Sondel Laboratories, is one of those few. His dedication and ambition have earned him much recognition, most recently as a member of the Stand Up to Cancer Foundation's Childhood Cancer Dream Team. Dr. Sondel's journey began as a genetics major at UW-Madison and continued on to earn his PhD and MD. While the Madison program has changed a lot since he was in school, he is the first to admit that it contributed to where he is today.
Dr. Sondel's lab consists of postdocs who mentor both graduate and undergraduate students. The jobs of the undergraduates start out simple, like running electrophoresis gels, but grow more complicated until they are able to generate their own hypotheses and even conduct their own experiments. Dr. Sondel believes it is important for students interested in science to work in labs and has some very great advice to go about contacting a PI.
Decide what you're interested in and look into it, and then try and find out who on this campus is doing the work that seems most exciting to you in that field, and read about their work and get a sense of it. I think you want to send an email to a person by name, make it clear that you have read about their work, and let them know why you're excited about the work, and make it clear that you've spent some time thinking about it. And then say something about yourself. Where is it you're hoping to get after you're done with your undergrad years? And what classes have you taken? What kind of class experiences do you have that you think would help you working in their lab? And what kind of grades are you getting? And give times that you could be contacted by phone or email or meet in person.
As a result of his dual career paths, Dr. Sondel has accumulated many interesting and heartwarming stories in his time as a medical scientist.
The one that I remember the most is in 1985, we had tried to generate a new way of doing bone marrow transplants here, to try and figure out a way how to do bone marrow transplants for children that didn't have an HLA identical brother or sister. And the approach that we used involved depleting the marrow of T cells to avoid graft versus host disease. We took a mismatched relative, a parent, we depleted the marrow of the T cells, did the bone marrow transplant, expecting it to grow, and the marrow didn't grow. The marrow got rejected. So we did it 2 more times with other donors for this same boy, and each time the marrow got rejected. But somehow with time, even though we had given him enough treatment that according to theory, we were going to eliminate his own bone marrow, his bone marrow gradually grew back, and this was all completely uncharted waters for everybody. But he finally got his own bone marrow growing back well enough that he was able to leave the hospital. And it was the day that he was going to be discharged. And we said goodbye to his family and said goodbye to him. And I shook his hand and he said, "No, I want to give you a hug." And so he gave me a hug and he patted me on the back. And I shook his hand and walked away. And his whole family started laughing. And he had put a sign on my back that said, "Kick me."
Recently, the Stand Up to Cancer Foundation, founded by news anchor Katie Kirk, challenged childhood cancer doctors to team up to collaborate on a project that would improve cancer therapies. Through a competitive process, a team of 7 research institutes around North America were selected, and Dr. Sondel is a part of that team. Their goal is to use a genomic approach to identify markers on the outside of cancer cells that can then be targeted by antibodies. This is a revolutionary approach to cancer treatment. The 7 institutes will work together by sharing information, reagents, and data to move the field forward.
This is a great opportunity for our childhood cancer immunotherapy research group to get involved in some collaborative research that we're hoping may be transformative.
Despite his many commitments, Dr. Sondel is sure to balance his schedule and make time for things that matter the most.
I made sure that the times I said I was going to be there and do what I had to do at home, I was going to be there, and I'd schedule my work life around it. So it's that issue of balance. Yesterday morning, I woke up early and had a conference call with collaborators in Germany and England. I finished that call, and went to my granddaughter's school to see her in a play. She was great. She's only 4 and a half, and she sang You Are My Sunshine. So it was really fun.
Our group would like to thank Dr. Sondel and his laboratory for their contribution to this project.